Hello there, Lisa Fitzgibbon here from Project 7 and welcome to our check-in service. So this is where we're going to hook up with our previous headline producers and our alumni from all around the world. We're going to find out where you are, what you're doing, what you're working on, how you're doing it, that kind of thing. Anyone who's been to one of our Project 7 events knows what an intensely challenging and rewarding week it can be, where forever friendships are made and creative connections that last are created. And this is the check-in service. So we're going to try and put everyone together so we can hook you up with your Project 7 kin. And today we're checking in with singer-songwriter and Project 7 alumni Hattie Briggs. Based in London, Hattie has released several EPs and 2 critically acclaimed albums. She's toured the UK, the Netherlands and throughout America, playing on stages and at music festivals, and has had airplay on BBC's Radio 1, 2 and 6 Music. A fiercely independent artist with the voice of an angel, she was discovered whilst busking at London's Paddington Underground by platinum-selling singer Alfie Boe, and went on to tour as opening act with him throughout the UK, the finale of which was at the Royal Albert Hall. Hattie has been described as a brilliant songwriter with a voice that is off the scale. And in the words of Radio 6's Tom Robinson, she knows exactly what she's doing. Hello, Hattie Briggs. It's Lisa Fitz here checking in. Hello, how are you?
Hello. Very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well. Yeah, holding up okay here in Stroud. Where are you, Hattie?
So I'm in Leighton Buzzard in Bedfordshire, so kind of half an hour outside London by train. And it's basically where my bandmate lives, and it's kind of where we're able to just keep working as much as normal without kind of, being on our own in different places with nothing to do. So it's working quite well at the moment.
Brilliant. And did you organise this when they said we're going to lock in? Did you say, right, let's hook up somewhere together?
Yeah, so I was actually moving out of London anyway in March, so it was kind of good timing-ish. And I was supposed to be moving in with a friend in Sussex, which is where I grew up. But then kind of the whole lockdown thing looked like it was going to happen. And actually, it was really lucky that the people I was staying with in London, they kind of said, I think you should probably come and get the rest of your stuff today, because I think we're going to get locked down. And literally, I think it was the Monday I went to get all my things from London, and it was literally locked down that evening. So then I just thought, well, I'm gonna stay here with my bandmate and her family, because otherwise, what can I do on my own? In Sussex.
Dreadful.
So.
Yeah, that would just good. You got through.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are you and Jazz working on at the moment now in your little lock-in world?
So we've kind of we've been building up a bit of a home studio setup for a while, and we've kind of gone from like a really rubbishy old microphone and a really, really old interface, and we've kind of upgraded both of those things and got a really good SE Electronics sound filter to go with the mic that we've bought, which is a Rode K2, which is really nice for recording vocals and guitar and stuff. So we've been doing a lot of recording demos and also commissions. I write song commissions for people, which is kind of literally like writing a song for them about, their story and their life and that kind of thing. So we've been doing a lot of that and just basically kind of brushing up on our home production skills and home recording skills and doing as much writing and being as creative as we can, because there's not much else that we can do right now.
Brilliant. So business as usual in the world of Hattie Briggs, because you're a really self-motivated artist anyway, at the best of time. At the moment, you obviously can't tour. So tell me a little bit more about these songs that you write for people.
Yeah, so it tends to be somebody asks for it as a surprise gift for somebody normally. But it can be for all sorts of things. I started doing it about 3 or 4 years ago, I think, when somebody just happened to approach me and say, my wife's a children's poet, and I've kind of always thought, her poems would make a good song. Would you have a go at making one of her poems into a song? And I was like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll give that a go. And it was actually quite a short poem. So in the end, that kind of, the poem was the first verse, and then I wrote the rest of the song around that. And it turned out really well. And I started playing it at gigs and kind of talking about it when I was playing the song at gigs, and people said, oh, that's a really cool idea, maybe you could do that for me. And I guess the more of these that I do, then the more of these songs appear in my set, or the more likely somebody else is to hear it, or somebody tells their friend that it's, somebody's done it for them, and then they say, oh, maybe she could do that for me. So it's kind of grown and grown, and I'm now doing quite a few of them. It can be about somebody's love story, it can be for somebody's anniversary, it can be I did one this year which was a guy who's been a big fan since seeing me on maybe he saw me on BBC Breakfast, or he heard me on Radio 2 or something around the Alfie tour, and then has been really into my stuff, and he was kind of massively hinting to his colleagues when he was about to retire that he'd really like a Hattie Briggs commission for his leaving present. So so his people got in touch and said, would you write a song for him? But they tend to be love songs with people's kind of stories of how they met, and they tend to be actually quite cool and quite interesting, and people who get in touch often have quite interesting kind of stories about how they met and what's happened to them, and sometimes it's like really romantic and stuff that you just wouldn't expect. So you have to be, it's kind of like detective work in a way, because obviously anybody can come forward and be like, can you write a song for me about my husband or my wife or whatever, and I love them so much and they're wonderful and blah blah blah, but that doesn't make a very good song, because that's what everybody says. So you kind of have to do quite a lot of digging, especially with blokes who tend to be a bit less forthcoming with the information when they first get in touch, because they're a bit like, oh, I just love my wife so much, and she's this and she's that, and she's the most generous, wonderful, kind person I've ever met. So you have to be like, send them a whole list of questions saying, so where did you meet, and what was the romantic part of this, and what do you think when you first saw them at this point, and blah blah blah. And you have to kind of do quite a bit of digging, and then find the kind of thing which makes them different and their relationship different to other people's, and then try and kind of write the song about that. So it's like a really fun kind of, I don't know, challenge. I really enjoy it.
Great. Yeah, it sounds fascinating. And then you go and play some of the songs live if they fit in with your set. So you have carte blanche to use the songs if you want to for an album. It doesn't belong to the person that's commissioned you, is what I'm asking.
Yeah. So when people get in touch, I kind of, once we've organized, there's kind of different things that they can ask from me. They can ask for kind of just like a demo version of the song, or they can ask for like a solo kind of studio recording, or a full production or whatever, obviously different price points and things. And then once they've kind of decided that, and, once we're kind of talking about those things, I also say, once this song is written, you won't own any of the publishing rights to it or any of the recording rights. You can obviously, enjoy it as much as you like, play it to your friends and family, but you can't, sell the song or use it for commercial use or whatever. And Gotcha. If I want to release it, then I might, kind of thing. So yeah, it's really good, because it's more inspiration
Absolutely.
from other places.
It's the perfect way to find material.
Yeah, basically.
That's really good idea. Well, I mean, you are the perfect example of what I call a DIY artist. And having been there myself, I know the work that's involved, and totally respect what you do with your life and your work, Hattie, because not only do you write and record, you promote, you tour, you're pretty much self-managed, you build a loyal audience, and I mean, it takes a lot of work to do that kind of thing, and a lot of commitment and passion. Can you talk to us a little bit about what motivates you in this way?
Yeah, I guess I just love creating. I don't think you can kind of do it unless you have to kind of enjoy the process. So I think I'm lucky in that I've always been fairly good at the business side of things, and I've been able to kind of handle the admin and that kind of thing, because obviously there's a lot of that if you're an independent artist, and I haven't kind of minded doing that as well as the creative side, but above everything, yeah, I just really love writing songs, and I love being able to share them at gigs, and hear how people have connected to them and all that kind of thing. So I don't know. I just love writing songs, and I think especially when I decided to kind of do this full time and quit university and all that kind of stuff, it was very much like I couldn't not do the songwriting, and I couldn't switch it off, and I couldn't kind of think about doing other things. So I think it was kind of a calling, you know.
Absolutely. And the more you commit to it and the more that you give up to pursue it, the bigger the building becomes, doesn't it? Like the boulder just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then all of a sudden it just, well, you're a runaway train right now, because in 2018 you were discovered by Alfie Boe busking on the Underground in Paddington. And then he took you on tour with him, and you played venues like the Royal Albert Hall, where your band got a standing ovation. I mean, it's stuff that dreams are made of, really. Can you explain to us a little bit about that time and how it felt going from, because you were doing a lot of tours yourself, so you were actually quite a, set up touring artist anyway, but going from the sort of medium venues to somewhere like the Royal Albert Hall. How was that?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, to be honest. It was at a time when I was doing a lot of headline shows, but very small headline shows, and quite mixed as well. I can, at that time anyway, I was playing some sold out shows of 120, and then I was, in different places finding it hard to sell 30 tickets. So it was a very mixed bag, and obviously, if you have a few shows in a row which you don't sell many tickets or whatever, it can be quite disheartening. So it especially when you've been going for a few years and things have been going really well. It's still really hard to pull people to a gig. So then to have Alfie come along and say, do you want to come on this 21 date tour around the UK in these sort of massive, for me, venues? Couldn't have come at a better time, really. And it was just such a great experience to kind of know what it felt like to be on that kind of a stage and to do a tour with a full crew and with kind of everybody, everyone on that tour does it day in, day out, and they, really know their stuff. So you learn a lot, and you have to kind of, you're kind of thrown in at the deep end as well. You have to learn a lot very quickly. But I was lucky enough to be able to take my band with me, because I did a whole load of kind of crowdfunding for the tour, and had a lot of support from people who'd been following me for a long time, and helped me kind of with funding to be able to bring my band. And Matt, my guitarist, he's done bigger tours than the rest of us had, and so he had a lot of that experience and was able to basically say, this is how it works. And you have to be at this place at this time and make sure that you're set up in this way, because you won't have very long in your sound check, so you have to have all of this stuff ready to go, and this is how you do this. So having him there was really, really valuable, because we could basically make the most out of it.
Absolutely. And also, there's nothing like being thrown in the deep end to actually think, well, I can do this. This is a place for me. This is a space I feel comfortable in.
Definitely. And as much as anything, it taught me that, if you've played a house gig to 20 people or less or more, and you've looked into the whites of their eyes in quite a bright room, when there's actually a lot of pressure, and if you make a mistake, everybody's going to know about it, that actually playing in front of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people, when the lights are so bright that you can't really see any of them anyway, actually it's not any more nerve-wracking, really. Once you've played to 2,000 people, 2 or 3 times, suddenly you're like, this is no different to playing to 200 people or 50 people or 500 people.
What now, Hattie? Once we get out of the lockdown, what's your plan for 2020, 2021?
I've kind of just said in my head that live is out for quite a long time. And I've kind of accepted that. So if it comes back early next year or whatever, then that's cool. But if it doesn't, then, that's kind of one of those things. And I've been doing a lot of live stream gigs, and I've done done a gig over Zoom actually a few days ago, and doing a couple more of those this week. So that's kind of an interesting way of doing it. But, the Facebook live stream and the Instagram live stream, that's all really good. So I might kind of keep doing those to kind of, keep engaging with fans, and also it's fairly good money to kind of keep things ticking over doing those kind of things.
Yep.
And then music wise, I don't know, I'm basically just trying to be as creative as possible in this time, and then make sure that kind of when we come out of the other side of it, there's a lot of material there to kind of be able to make a really good plan and kind of get out the blocks quickly. But there's a lot of things in the works. And also since the tour with Alfie, I've got new management, and I've got a really good agent now as well, which is kind of ironic since no gigs are happening. But I feel like I've got a really good team in place, so that when things do kind of kick off again, then there'll be good plans going ahead and stuff.
So you were with us for Project 7 2017. That was the year we had Bonnie Size, John Fortis, Andrew Levy as our headline producers. What's one of your most memorable Project 7 moments?
It probably sounds like I'm sucking up, but to be honest, like the sessions that I did with you and Ian were actually my favorite sessions. I think because I don't know, just because the songs that we came out with in those two were they were like songs which I was really like, yeah, this is just an awesome kind of song that I would, listen to or want to play or whatever. So those were kind of my favorite two sessions, and also that whole experience was really good for me because I hadn't really done much co-writing before at all. I'd done a bit of co-writing with Jasmine, in that I'd kind of when I was doing some writing, I'd quite often write most of a song or all of a song and then take it to Jazz, and she has really great ears and will be able to tell if something is poking out or if something's not quite working, or if I kind of went to her and said, okay, I've got this song but I just don't really know what I should do with the middle eight, then she's really good at kind of saying, okay, I think you should do this kind of thing with it, and then I'd be able to just go away and figure that out. But apart from that kind of co-writing, I hadn't done 3-4 people in a room starting from scratch and writing a song together. So that was a really valuable experience, and since that I've done a lot more co-writing, and
that's good.
Been really enjoying it, and kind of keen to do much more of it.
Great. Okay, I'm going to ask you some quick questions now, Hattie.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Which do you prefer, cat or dog?
Dog.
Beans or bacon?
Bacon.
Night owl or dawn chorus?
Night owl.
Stones or Beatles?
Beatles.
Whiskey or water?
Water.
Run or walk?
Run.
Book or movie?
Oh, equal.
Gotta be one.
Movie.
And last one, coast or country?
Country.
That was tricky.
That was quite hard,
one.
yeah.
Hattie, so nice to hear from you, to see you. Thanks for checking in with Project 7.
No, thanks for having me. It's been great to chat.
And we look forward to tracking your future, and we look forward to seeing you up there on stage, and best of luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye. For more info and to apply to one of our Project 7 songwriting retreats, visit us at project7.com.